This is the Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, a fun casual joint, and brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with head coach Ryan Day and former OSU All-American Jim Lachey, here's the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Welcome to our show this week as Ohio State gets ready to host Tennessee in the first round of the college football playoff. That'll be Saturday night at Ohio Stadium. Coach Day, thanks as always for your time. You talked a little bit earlier this week about what it's been like having 3 weeks as opposed to week, as opposed to the normal bowl prep. Is 3 weeks kind of a good sweet spot as far as being able to kind of rest, recover, and then get ready to get back into the drill?
Well, we used the first week to do that, to rest and assess coming off the last game, and then take a look at the season and kind of where we were, and then Sunday we found out we were playing Tennessee and where we were going, so we had a target and used that next week as a prep week and tried to get ourselves back into the routine of a game week, and then now we're into game week, so it turned around pretty quick, and the guys are fired up and looking forward to get back on the field.
Yeah, I'm sure that first week was kind of a, bumps and bruises, get that taken care of, you get treatment, and then get some good lifting in. Go out there and run, get your legs back underneath you, get a little sprinting in, just to move around. But then when you do get an opponent and you have 2 weeks, do you give them that whole game plan like that first Tuesday when you're introducing, say, 12 days before the game, or do you kind of piecemeal it in? Because sometimes I've had coaches that are like, hey, we're going to wait till next week to give you the whole meat of this, just because you don't want to get running the same plays over and over and over again.
Yeah. Actually, we did a little bit of this time around was we kind of focused a little bit on red zone, third down, for a couple different reasons. Because that's usually something that you get to a little bit later on. So there were some key ideas that we wanted to at least look at last week. We did that on both sides of the ball, but also tried to get a head start in the situational areas, which was beneficial. And then still used a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday format practice towards the end of the week, and then I had a normal Sunday, and now today will be our Thursday. But yeah, I think to your point, sometimes you can continue to run the same plays over and over again. It gets a little long in the tooth. So we tried to hammer the situations early on, and then we've had really good practices, very spirited practices. Guys have been flying around. Another good one last night. So you need to have another good day today.
And certainly, we've talked to you a lot about your scout team and everything they have to do. That's a new challenge for those guys, isn't it, to get ready for a non-conference opponent, somebody you don't have much that familiarity with until you know who you're playing.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's got to do their job. Everybody, coaches, players, everybody in the building's got to do their job. And if it's a scout team, that means the look's got to be exactly what you're going to see on Saturday, and that's a big part of it. And so everybody across the board has got to play with their hair on fire, but we got to execute. We got to do our job. We got to make sure that we're all doing exactly what we have to do on each of those plays, and a big part of that is the scout team making sure that the looks are accurate.
Coach, with 12 games to watch, do you watch all of those? Do you concentrate on the 4 games? Do you concentrate on Georgia and Arkansas, who had success against them? I mean, how do you kind of break that down? Because, some things are done against, Kent State early in the year. You're probably not going to do it. Do you just watch the conference-type games just to get a good feel of what they're trying to do, or a team that's maybe like you, has some similarities to you, that you can kind of get an idea how they're going to line up?
You look at everything when you have this much time, but you also have to recognize, where do you want to focus your energy? And so as the season progresses, you see how teams change, how they evolve, how they adapt, and then also, how they handle different opponents. And so you try to take all those things into consideration when you're looking to identify, what you think you're going to get and predict what you're going to get in a game.
With all of this time, too, even more self-evaluation of your own unit?
Yeah, you look to see where you're at, and that was the thing looking at, all 3 phases is that, as you start, the first game of the year against Akron, you're in a whole different place coming off of the Oregon game. And then, we get into November, and we're at a different place now. And that's for a couple different reasons. Schematically, the game changes, and you put things on film, and then you have to make changes. Sometimes there's injuries. There's just different things that come into play. And so you have to be able to adapt. And I think every team at this time of year is going to have their issues, whatever those things are. And the team that identifies those issues and gets those things fixed is going to give themselves the best chance to go win in this playoffs.
Coach, for these seniors, and you got 29 of them that, went through senior tackle, just to have another opportunity to play in Ohio Stadium, to play in the shoe after the way, the last game was, an opportunity to go out there, go out a victor. I mean, to go out, with a win. That has to feel so good to have that opportunity, and I'm sure that's something that they're excited about to come back, because usually when it's the last time, it's the last time. You get no more opportunities. Right. This is a little bit different with the home playoff game. Yeah, not something that we expected to happen, but here we are, and I know that our guys are excited to get back on the field and make sure that their last game is completed with a win. And senior tackle was tremendous. Just to listen to the guys and how much they love Ohio State, they love this university, they love the program, they love their teammates. They want to make sure their last game is finished with a win. Now, that senior tackle, it's not – sometimes it's a good tackle, but sometimes it's just to go up there and brush. You get different guys that like to do different things on that senior tackle. Well, we had 29 guys going through, and just a mix of different body types and styles. And we had Seth McLaughlin take a scooter to it. We had other guys run right through it full speed. We had other guys a little bit slower going through it. So, we had a bunch of different things that happened there. But what a great tradition. Over 100 years of the guys doing it, and not only, their parents being involved, but the coaches are there, the staff's there, and just a moment for, the coaches to recognize what they've done here, but also just to give a message to the players who are currently on the team. And, the thing that came up was, a lot of great messages, but one of them was just the ebbs and flows of a season, ebbs and flows of a career, sticking through and working through adversity. They talked about family, they talked about faith, they talked about the fans, they talked about all those different things, and now the focus on this next opponent. And they were strong, and what a great group. Very proud that these guys are the seniors that are going to be finishing their last game here in the shoe. I think you mentioned it earlier in the week too in one of your press conferences. It's an investment for the families as well, isn't it? Yeah, it's a huge part of it, and we talked to the families a lot about what this process will be like, and they're very, very supportive, unbelievably supportive of their sons, and they're the most proud of anybody when they look at their sons. And so to get a chance to speak with them about the sacrifices and what they've given to this program was great on Sunday. But when you think about the families, when they first send their son here, they're a young man. When they leave, they're leaving a man, and we had some great men in that locker room. Is some of that even more compressed now when you have guys like Will Howard and others who haven't been here the traditional 4 or 5 years, and how the 1 year or 1+ year, whatever it is, that they make the most of that experience? Yeah, different now, different than in the past. You're exactly right, but they quickly assimilate. They understand. They grab onto the tradition and what this means to be a Buckeye. And so, while they may not be here for as many years as some of the other guys, it still means just as much. Scarlet out the shoe, Coach. Is that decisions that you have any involvement in, or is that just something that happens throughout the university? Equipment guys, seniors, who makes those decisions to change the uniforms up? Yeah, our administration makes those decisions, and asks if we're good with it, and I'm good with it as long as they are. We check with some of the captains and those guys to see if that's something that they want to do, just to bring a little bit more excitement to the game. And so they wanted to do that, and so we're going to do that, and it'll be a great atmosphere. If you have a question for Coach Day, you could submit it to our Union Home Mortgage inbox at OhioStateBuckeyes.com and click on Ryan Day Show inbox. Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, and equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. Saturday, Ohio State at home with Tennessee. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 6:30 p.m. More of today's show presented by Roosters coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hey, Ohio State fan, are you ready for game day? Get hyped and get your crew going with the Buckeye Meal at BK. For $20, you'll get 1 juicy flame grilled Whopper sandwich, 1 original chicken sandwich, 2 mouthwatering cheeseburgers, 3 crispy golden small fries, and 3 refreshing small drinks. Grab your $20 Buckeye Meal today and share the taste of victory. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. Tax extra. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona. You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Get ready, Buckeye fans. Donato's just added something special to the pizza playbook. Introducing Donato's new Block O pizza. Donato's golden thin crust cut in that trademark Block O shape, loaded with crispy pepperoni, smoked provolone cheese, and Buckeye Spirit. It's the perfect pizza for game day or any day in Buckeye country. Now get a Block O pizza for just $10 with any pizza purchase. Order today with the Donato's app or at donatos.com.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back to this week's show as Ohio State gets ready to host Tennessee in round one of the college football playoff. That'll be Saturday night at Ohio Stadium. And time for our Elk and Oak 2 Deep Report, presented by Elk and Oak. Serious fans for Ohio State athletics. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Bucks. And, Coach, I know you've talked a little bit about what's going to happen with some of the competition you need on the offensive line to get things ready. And you even talked back earlier in the summer when you had to have some situations of guys getting reps with the number ones in the offensive line that they may normally would, but with the anticipation of a long season that could be a payoff.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with Luke Montgomery just a couple weeks ago, and you feel like you're not, contributing or anything like that, and before you know it, you're right in the middle of it. Where you go, he's going to have an opportunity in this environment, playoffs, to go play. Had a good couple weeks of work, so it'd be good to see him get out there. We're going to rotate those guys a little bit, but exactly right. What a great opportunity here. We got to step up and play really well.
Two of your offensive linemen got some great recognition. When you look at what Seth McLaughlin did, consensus All-American. I mean, what a fantastic year he was able to have. And then, look at Donovan Jackson. Here he is, I think, a 3-time All-Big Ten offensive guard for the Buckeyes. Now he's playing left tackle. Just, the unselfishness. A lot of guys say, hey, Coach, I want to stay inside. And, we'll look at it personally, but he's looking at doing what's best for the team. And just to see his unselfishness, what he's able to do out there, just, it's going to help him out, obviously, in the future. But just to see a guy like that, the leader, that can go out there on that group and step up and make plays. And he's going to have another big challenge this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Similar to Penn State, they have really good defensive ends and really good pass rushers. But not only is he playing tackle, but he's playing tackle very well.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. He's really helped his value. Knowing that he could move around in the NFL, he's put it on film. But it's been his approach to me that was tremendous, and great to see him get the recognition he deserves, and great to see Seth get the Remington Award. For him to come in and do that says a lot about him in such a short period of time making an impact here at Ohio State. And and then the other guy who's shown leadership this year is Josh Fryer. He's been consistent over there, and so we're going to need him to, both of those guys on the end, help in this game with the guards to, make sure that we're on the same page. And communicating is going to be critically important so that we can win the line of scrimmage.
Is the benefit of both Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins sharing the load of tailback kind of showing now to where both of them are as fresh as they are?
I think it needs to. Yeah, I mean, this has been the whole idea, is that late in the season now we're playing with great velocity. We're running downhill, running through contact. We're fresh. And so that's what has to happen in this game. And both guys have had good weeks of practice, and that's the way they got to run on Saturday.
I mean, playing aggressive, you talked about that this week, coming off the line of scrimmage, giving movement at the point of attack. It's one thing to talk about, you got to go out and do it. And the thing about being an offensive lineman, you can be a great guy off the field, but for about 3.5, 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon or whenever you're playing, you got to change your mindset. And, just to get into that, how do you get those guys to change their mindset to go out there and be vicious and for 4 to 6 seconds, however it is, until the play's blown dead. I mean, that's something you got to get you worked up into, and our guys are going to have to get mentally ready to go out there and do that.
That's it, and that's the way the game's got to be played. You know that, and that's the build up to playing football. But certainly, it's epitomizing the offensive line, and that has to be that way. And a big part of that is confidence. These guys have got to have confidence, knowing that every day when they're out of practice, they're going against really good players, and they're putting it on the field. They're blocking Tyleek, they're blocking Ty, and Cade McDonald, Edric Houston, and Hero Kanu. So. That's a big part of it, is having confidence and then finishing. And so, going into the game, we want these guys to play as hard as they possibly can, finish, and knock back the line of scrimmage. And to your point, you got to get yourself to almost like a frenzy to get yourself to that point. And so we'll need that here on Saturday for sure.
It's a who and a how. First of all, you got to know who you're blocking and have 100% conviction. This is my exact assignment. And then how, the technique, taking that first power step. And then you just got to turn it loose.
That's it.
And that's it. You can prepare, study, understand the game plan. Sometimes simplifying things makes it a little bit easier for a guy to go out there and get that done. But then just trusting your technique each and every time, keeping the pads low, keeping the hips low, and then, firing out and firing through, and then it's all fun, getting after people.
That's it. And, it's this game of wills. I mean, you got to will yourself to do that. And, you got to move human beings against their will. That's how it works. And so, technique's a big part of it. You got to get lower. You got to get your pads lower. You got to do all those things. But also, it's just the mindset, like you said, that, I'm going to knock this man back for for 60 minutes and for 4 quarters.
We've talked to you so much and asked you so much about Will Howard and what he's brought this year coming to this football team. As you move into this next chapter, do you continue to see his leadership quotient rank just as highly as what he does on the field?
Yeah, well, I think that in this game, when you're talking about playoffs, the quarterback play and the quarterback leadership will be very, very important to the outcome of the game. So, we've let Will know, he needs to be a great leader. He's been a great leader, but this is where quarterbacks really step up. And there's a lot of keys to this game, but one of them is his leadership in this game. And again, we don't need him to do anything extraordinary. He's got to take care of the football. He's got to get the ball into our playmakers' hands in space, and then he's got to deliver on third down, red zone, and in the 2-minute drills. So again, another good week of practice. He's had great energy, but we're going to need that leadership in this game to go win. And it's when you look at it, you're playing against Tennessee, you're playing against the defense, but he's also going against the other team's quarterback. Like, who's going to be the better leader in this game? And so you got to take that personally going into a matchup like this.
Not only Will, but Devin. We saw him get an opportunity, obviously, in the final game of the year. Had to go in there for a play or two and step up. So he's got to have that 100% confidence. And then, when Devin's in there, your next guy's got to have that confidence, understanding. So it's not just one guy, but it's all 3 of those guys. 4 of those guys have to be ready to go.
And you got to go. It's about being a competitive excellence. And so whether it's you're a starter or you're a backup who gets put into a situation, that's going to happen to somebody in this game, and then you got to go on the field and you got to go make it happen. That's why all the reps, all the work that's been done up to this point has to mean something, and a big part of that is playing with confidence on Saturday. So if you're putting the work in and you know exactly what you're doing, you're putting it on the practice field, you just have to let your instincts take over when you get onto the field.
We'll start with some of our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Brandon in Cincinnati asking, would starting and ending the regular season even earlier so that the CFP championship occurs on January 1st help with moving the transfer portal to open right afterward and prior to the new semester? Would that help the timing of everything that overlaps now, if that's even possible?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge that we all face is, the start of school for us and for different, schools are different. It's not all the same. For us, it's the first week of January. And so, for those who want to look at the transfer portal or those who want to be, who are in the portal who are looking about possibly transferring here, those decisions have to be made before the playoffs is complete. The last game is here on January 20th. So it creates such a difficult situation, not only for the players, but also for the coaches and the programs who are looking to put their team together for the next year, knowing that you still have a team, together, that's together now, that's looking to go win a championship. So this has become, probably, the first time where we've had to deal with this with the length of the season. It's now moved to January 20th, and where the portal is, it's a big time challenge. There's no question about that. So we got to sit down after the season and figure out how to change this to make it better for everybody.
I mean, that would be like for basketball having it a week before March Madness starts. I mean, you wouldn't, open up a portal, and that just wouldn't make sense. But because the way football is, pretty much during the fall or autumn semester, and then you get into the winter, or spring semester, it's just the timing of it is kind of unique because it is right between, semesters. Teams are on quarters, it's a little bit different. Or schools that are on quarters, you can, maybe work at or massage that a little bit more. But for football, it really, it just doesn't make any sense to open up that window right when it has to open because it doesn't affect any other sport the way it does football.
Yep, that's it. And, for the guys who are looking to, possibly have an see what their situation might be at another school. When you say that nowadays, it's different than when it was 5 years ago. And so, these guys have an opportunity to go do that, maybe look at different playing time. There's different situations that come into play. The one thing about all the feedback that I've got from those who are, looked into the portal was that they want to finish the season with the team, for the most part. There's a couple guys that decided not to, but for the most part they wanted to, and that says a lot about these guys that they want to do it the right way. And so, it's really not their fault. I mean, they're forced to make a decision before this thing's all going down. We're working through it. I think we're in a good place where we're at right now. But we also have to make sure that those guys that are on the team are ready to go in there because depth can be an issue late in the season because of this issue.
Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before Saturday's game outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest beginning at 5 p.m. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Bucks and beat cancer. We'll have more with Coach Day when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Buckeye fans. Union Home Mortgage's 1% down payment program is like kicking an extra point or scoring a 2-point conversion. You put 1% down, and Union Home Mortgage will kick in up to 2% on the house. Visit UHM.com or call 877-846-4968 today. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229. UHM will contribute up to 2% down, no greater than $2,000 towards the 3% down payment. Home buyers responsible for the remainder of the down payment. This offer is available for the purchase of a primary residence only. For full terms and conditions, visit UHM.com.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Toyotathon is on, and it's the perfect time to wrap up the year with a new, stylishly affordable Corolla. Now through January 6th, you can get low-rate financing or a great lease on a new Corolla or Corolla Hybrid. Lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE now for $219 a month for 39 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back to our show this week with Ohio State head coach Ryan Day as the Buckeyes get ready to host Tennessee. Time for our Inside Access with Kroger. When the Bucks win, you win at Kroger. Go to the Kroger app the day after each victory to download your coupon for a free 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Then visit any Columbus area Kroger the same day to redeem while supplies last. Coach, if you would, just kind of give us a little bit of your scouting outlook of Tennessee and what they bring to this game.
Yeah, very good team. Start on offense. They are a spread out, no huddle tempo team that, when you kind of go back to, the Art Briles and those types of styles of play, you start to see a lot of similarities there. They really try to, push the envelope on how fast they can play and, have really good wide receivers, try to get them in one-on-one situations the best they can, and then shoot the ball down the field. So, again, tempo, spread you out horizontally, vertically, and they've done a very good job running the ball. The running backs are running very hard. Offensive line's doing a good job, and quarterbacks played well this season. On defense, they're one of the top teams in the SEC in a lot of different statistical categories. Their front is very stout, big, strong, athletic. Disruptive up front. Linebackers are active. Back ends is very, very good. So, and then special teams, they do a great job. They have a very good punter. Return guys are dangerous. So all three phases, they're going to challenge you, which is what you expect going into the playoffs.
When you talk about splits, it's not the offensive line with 5-foot splits. It's the wide receivers 2 yards from the sideline. Now, if you did that only in running downs, it's going to be a running play, but they do it a majority of the time. That does take a little bit of their route tree, when they do that, right? When they're lined up so close to the sideline, there's not many times you're going to, make an outside move there, because you had the sideline will be your friend there. But, why don't more teams do that to spread you out like that?
Well, it's different. It's not like West Coast is about spacing and progressions and those types of things. These a lot more of these plays are, option routes where, I'm going to kind of throw it to him or him. Not as many checkdowns and those types of things that you see. And it's just a different style of attack. Everybody has different styles, but, one of the things that they do is they recruit quarterbacks who have strong arm, so that they can push the ball all the way to the sideline. You see that with some of the guys that they've had there. They've been very good. And so, this quarterback's the same way. He's got a strong arm, and he can push the ball all the way to the sideline. Again, they're trying to get you as wide as they possibly can. If, they could get any wider, they would. But it's a lot more. It's about vertical stems, where they're slamming it down. They're pushing it vertical. Not as many of the crossing routes or those types of things that you see in a conventional passing game.
As your defense gets ready for this, we look at the last few weeks of the season with the way Caleb Downs has played. If you would just talk about the impact that he's had on the defense with the way he's played.
Well, his production is the first thing that you notice. His communication, his leadership, are the things that come to mind next. But, in a game like this, the safeties have to play great because, they're the ones that feel the most stress sideline to sideline. They're trying to get involved, obviously, and hold, some of the windows in the pass game, but also have to rally, to make tackles in space. And that'll be a big key to the game is tackling. I know that sounds simple, but, when you have space like that, tackling and getting guys down for 2 and 3 as opposed to, 5 and 7 is a big part of the game. And their running backs have broken a lot of tackles this year. So, Caleb and Lathan and Jordan, those guys are going to have to be on their A game.
Everybody's going to have to play great on defense, but I think against a guy like Dylan Sampson and their offensive line, your defensive tackle is going to have to get some penetration, get some push inside to make them, kind of run the hill, so to speak, not to have anything type it downhill. And then, as you said, no missed tackles. Our linebackers are going to have to be sure tackles in this game because they're going to have that ability, but they're going to have to be able to make those plays.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's important. Right. When you're getting, at any time you're out there, and it's going to be the case this week in all three phases. Everyone's got to do their job. But to your point, when you're getting stretched out sideline to sideline, everyone's got to be really gap sound up front, and it comes down to defeating blocks. There's a lot of good schemes out there, but when you're defeating blocks and getting off of blocks and getting your knockback and getting your TFLs and those types of things, then certainly it makes a huge difference. And a big part of it's going to be first down. can they get that first down to get their tempo going? It'll be critically important.
You know, you think about the way Jack Sawyer's played at defensive end down the stretch of the game. And think about that interception that he had in the last game. A guy at a defensive end spot dropping back and making a play like that. Does that just speak to some of his instincts when it comes to football?
Yeah, just, playing his tail off, and that was one heck of a play. And just the idea that, if they give him a yard, we're going to defend it, and that's been the mentality all season. And it's going to have to be that way in this game. We're going to have to play well situationally. And he recognized that, made one heck of a play, and he's excited about getting back into the shoe and finishing this thing with a win.
Didn't rotate as much as you normally have on that defensive line during the last game of the year. Is that something you probably will try to mix in a little bit more? And I understand no one wants to come off the field. Everybody wants to be out there every single play, but do you feel like that's got to be part of your attack?
Yeah, well, I think when you're facing an up tempo team, no huddle team, then you have to play some depth. But again, if you're getting off the field on third down, then that makes a huge difference. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're going to have to play depth in this game, and there's a bunch of guys in there that deserve to play.
Mike in Ottawa with our next Union Home Mortgage inbox question. Special teams always important in any game. Are there any specific ways to prepare for kicking or catching the ball when the temperatures are cold like it's forecast to be on Saturday night?
Other than just practicing every day outside, which we've been doing, to make sure that we're getting used to the elements. And, it is a little bit different. When it's windy, the ball does move. This is another Aussie-style punter. So it's not a spiral punt. It's a little bit different. So that ball can kind of knuckle a little bit. So you got to get used to that, and how the ball can change, and then how it bounces once it hits the turf as opposed to grass. And so obviously that becomes a huge thing. So we got to field these kicks this week. We didn't field some in the last game, and it cost us some yardage in terms of the battle of field position. So I think that's important. And just being out there. I mean, the ball's different. It's leather. So when it's colder, it has a different feel to it. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more slippery and those type of things. So the only way to do that is get out there and practice in the elements, which we've been doing all along.
This punter can kick with both feet. Does that play into it at all?
Not at the same time. But
thankfully.
Yeah, we made sure we point that out in special teams just so the guys weren't confused. But very, very good. And we're going to get challenged there. So we've got to do a great job understanding how they're going to do that. We've got to get some pressure on them. We also got to return and field every kick. I mean, we've got to get the ball back. We got to field it, and then we have an opportunity to, get 10 yards. That's a first down, and then we go from there. And if we can get that first 10 yards, then it's up to Caleb to, go from there and do what he does. But big challenge for everybody on special teams to compete their tail off and make sure that that's a positive for us in this game.
Is there any tendency that you read on Jackson Ross, number 98, their punter, whether he's going right-footed or left-footed with the punts?
He when you look at his numbers, they're pretty close both ways. So he can do it both ways, and so we'll have to be prepared for both.
And you've talked also about the way guys have excelled on special teams to be able to have an influence on that. Are you continue to see some of these guys, whether it's your gunners, your coverage people, that are still performing at a high level?
Yeah. I mean, and as we all know, this is it. So, when we get out there on the punt or punt return, I mean, these are big chunks of yardage. And so, in the punt return area, we just talked about in the punt area, we hate the punt, but when we do, we got to cover our tail off, and they have a very good return man. Carter's had a bunch of returns this year and does a nice job. And so, to your point, it's the gunners. They got to get down the field. We got to protect at a high level. We got to get it up in the air, and we got to go cover it.
Yeah, Boo Carter, number 23, looks like he's maybe not the fastest guy out there, but boy, he can find those openings, find those lanes, and is able to keep that, keep moving the ball down the field. He's been really impressive watching him the way he does return the kicks.
Yeah, dangerous guy. He's a guy who did multiple things coming out of high school. We recruited him. He plays nickel for them, but like you said, has a good feel for the return game and is dangerous.
Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. And more of our weekly show, Coach Day, presented by Roosters, when we continue on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Ohio State championship quarterback Cardale Jones.
As a child, I had the same hopes and dreams as other children. I just didn't have the same resources to achieve them, but I found the help I needed to be my best. I was a CareSource kid. CareSource is so much more than Medicaid. They help families overcome a lot of their day-to-day struggles, and that made a lasting difference in the lives of kids like me.
CareSource, your Medicaid, your choice. Visit caresource.com/Medicaid.
Hey, Buckeye Nation, Paul Keels here for my other favorite nation, Window Nation. If you're a fan of scoring, you're going to love this. Window Nation is going nuts with an incredible offer just for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free plus 0 down and 0 payments with 0 interest for 2 years. And if you order a full house of windows, you'll be part of a full house at the Shoe with tickets to a Buckeye game. Call Window Nation today at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. Tell them Paul sent you for the Buckeyes Full House Special.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
At Kroger, an annual Boost membership just got even better. Now you can choose from Disney Plus with ads, Hulu with ads, or ESPN Plus on us when you sign up. Plus, enjoy unlimited free delivery, double fuel points, exclusive offers, and free items. Sign up for a Boost membership today. It's an easier way to save, including new streaming options to relax with while we deliver your groceries. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Fans, everyone knows it's better to give than to receive, so what could be better than giving and receiving? For every $50 you give in Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Roosters bonus buck. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics and proud sponsor of the Ryan Day Show, make Roosters part of your holidays. Roosters, a fun, casual, and merry joint. Welcome back to our show this week as Ohio State gets ready to take on Tennessee in the first round of the college football playoffs. More of our Union Home Mortgage inbox list of questions. Brad and Finley curious about how officiating crews were assigned to these CFP games. Are they from other conferences that don't have a participating team similar to bowl games? And do both teams have to adjust how a game may be officiated even though it should be the same?
Yeah, so our officials will be coming from the ACC. We've done a pretty good background check, just in terms of, the games that they've called, what their tendencies are. Everyone has statistics, and so each of these folks have statistics as well. So it doesn't change how you're going to play, but it also brings some awareness on what they tend to call more than others.
Is it a complete crew, or is it an all-star crew from the ACC?
Complete crew. Good. I'm sure that maybe there was a couple guys that came in and out, but these guys have mostly worked together, as far as I've been told.
Is everything pretty much close to normal as far as it being a home game, or are there other things because it's the College Football Playoff Committee that you guys have had to do any different?
No, it's very similar to a home game. I mean, we're going to be over at the golf course tomorrow night having dinner there. We're going to keep the same routine that we've had, and so, yeah, it's been different. Every time I kind of go in there and we talk about the schedule, I'm like, okay, so what's going to be different about this? And it's just kind of a normal home game for us. So, there's really a couple tweaks here and there, but not much. We've started a little bit later in terms of like our practice schedule, just to make sure that we're ready for the 8 o'clock kickoff. We've got the guys in the building a little bit earlier just to get some walkthroughs going. We've got some extra meeting times, things like that. But other than that, it's been pretty normal.
Coach, you kind of, started your huddling, and then you went tempo, and then now you're back into the huddle. What's your your feeling on that. You're still going to do a little bit of both, right? Depending on the course of the game and how you want to move it. But I know you talked about recently, having the huddle, having Will in there, looking at guys' eyes. So you kind of like that feeling. And I was always a huddle guy, but I think you also have to have tempo. Kind of as an extra club in your golf bag. You got to use that every once in a while, and just whenever you feel like you got to push it down the field. Obviously, in 2-minute situations or red ball, we used to call that, you had to move it up and down the field. But do you feel like there might be other times you might have to use it, besides those situations?
Yeah, I think so. And ultimately, it comes down to execution.
Right.
That's it. I mean, that's the bottom line. We all got to do our job, and when it's working, everything's great. When it isn't working, it doesn't. We got to get it fixed. And so. But having the ability to go fast or go slow certainly is a weapon, and we got to do that, and we'll do that in this game.
Certainly, it's all about team goals, but you had a number of guys that have received individual recognition based on the conclusion of the regular season. Got to be thrilled, especially the guys that got the academic honors and the guys who graduated this past weekend. That's got to be a great achievement for this program.
Yeah. Can't say enough about these guys and what they've done, and the impact and the sacrifice they've made since they've been here. And these are great young men, or not young men anymore. They're great men who, certainly have, done a lot here and, want to make sure that they finish the season the right way. But, they're going to go on to become, great players in the NFL, great businessmen, great people in the community, great husbands, great fathers. When you get around our team, you can just see it. You can feel it when you talk to them. I'm sure you guys, when you guys have, during this show, I've had the guys on, just amazed by how mature they are and what great men they are, representatives of the university. So, proud of this group, and they're determined. They are locked in this week. They want to make sure they're finishing this thing, and a big part of the playoffs is winning this first game to get momentum, and they understand that.
Coach, I know everybody wants to have the ability to run the football, but sometimes you got to go in games, you got to throw the football to open up that rushing attack. I know Tennessee's done a great job all year long, giving up less than 100 yards per game on the ground. Do you feel like that could be something that you might have to do in this ball game?
Whatever it takes to win the game, we got to do, and I think that's people said, what did you gain out of coming out of last game? What did you learn? I mean, the bottom line is we have got to do the things that maximize our strengths and minimize our deficiencies. And then we all have to take accountability, players, coaches, everybody, to do their job and to put the players in the best position to be successful. So what does that mean? Won't get into all that, but that's the bottom line. We have to make sure we're doing that. I don't think we did that coming out of the game, quite honestly. And so that has to get fixed, and it's one thing to move on from a game, but it's another thing to get those issues addressed. And so I feel like we have, but now we got to go put it on the field, and we got to go execute at a high level.
Is that where upperclassmen and more experienced players can filter down to the younger players or the others, that the importance of each and every play, each and every practice, each and every situation?
I think so. Yeah, it's everybody though. It's coaches, it's leaders, it's seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen. Everyone's got to buy into it and understand how important it is.
Coach, you got a confident team right now? I mean, coming out, you guys, after you lost by 1 point to Oregon, you could see the confidence building and building and building. And, anytime you lose and, just 3 points, but still it's a loss, you got to get that confidence back up. And, I was at practice a couple times a week, and I think I see that out there, but that's got to carry over to game day.
It does. And I think a big part of that is identifying what went wrong and identifying that and then getting that addressed so that we can move forward. If you don't know how it is, or you're not taking accountability as coaches or whoever's involved with it, then all of a sudden it kind of lingers and there's a question mark on why did that go wrong. When you identify it and then you can get it fixed, then you can build on the confidence of everything that's happened during the season, the success that's gone on in all three phases. So there will be a confident team going into Saturday night.
Coach, as always, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, and all the best comes Saturday night.
Guys, thanks.
So Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. Union Home Mortgage is the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn about their 1% down payment program at UHM.com, and equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229. We'll hear from defensive coordinator Jim Knowles when we continue with our weekly show presented by Roosters on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive feast at Kroger with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Kroger, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
'Tis the season to be hungry at Roosters. That's why for every $50 spent on Roosters gift cards, you'll receive a $10 Rooster Buck back in your stocking. May your holidays be filled with friends and family, love and laughter, and of course, Roosters Wings. Go to roosterswings.com today or drop by any Roosters location to purchase your $50 holiday gift cards and receive a $10 Rooster Buck in return. Happy holidays from all of us at Roosters. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Toyotathon is on, the perfect time to shop for a new SUV with more all-wheel drive choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through January 6th, get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 5.99 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models, with $1,657 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeyes are known for paying it forward, and that's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Joint partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS-TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare. They were in a different order. That's why I got screwed up there, Skip. Welcome back to our show this week as Ohio State gets ready to take on Tennessee. Defensive coordinator Jim Knowles, thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time, Coach. And certainly we asked Coach Day about the way Caleb Downs has played, fitting in at safety with what he's done. If you would just talk about the impact that this young man has made all season on your defense.
He makes an impact everywhere, in the building, on the field. You know, he carries himself, very mature, always wants to learn, wants to be coached despite being a great player already. I think when you have that and other guys see it, so he's talented, but he's also very into the details of the game.
And you have another safety, Lathan Ransom, that's kind of that same DNA, you know what I mean? He just continues to deliver each and every game. I know he's a little bit nicked up towards the end of last year, but, now look at him, fifth-year guy, over 200 tackles for a career, 5 forced fumbles. Man, he gets his nose around the football a lot and can make plays. And if you got 2 guys in your back end like that, that kind of helps that whole defense step up and make plays.
Yeah, it can help if somebody else makes a mistake. Those guys can fill in the gaps. But Lathan's just a great young man. I think everybody can be proud of him. He shows you what it's like to go through adversity and come out on the other end. And I think we lose that a lot in our game. Back in the day, a guy had to go through some adversity, to get to the point where he was a star. Now that process is sped up a little bit, and a lot of guys don't want to go through the adversity, and they'd rather jump somewhere and find somewhere else to be a star. But Lathan is an example of a guy who's gone through it and has really had a great career.
Coach, we had no choice back when we played. We had no place else to go. You know what I mean? So you had to stick it out. Yeah, you had to stick it out and get it done. And, one guy that has, again, stuck it out for a long time now, Cody Simon, captain, really stepped up. And, I thought that Indiana game was his finest example of, showing what he can do blitzing. I mean, we always know he's a sure tackler, but to see him on pass rush, to get through that A-gap, come outside and make some plays, that was a lot of fun to watch. I'm sure he's going to have another type performance like that this week against Tennessee.
Yeah, Cody's a guy that we count on, and here's a guy who stuck with it a couple years when he could have easily been a starter somewhere else, and I always considered him a starter. That's just the type of kid he is. But now it's his defense, and he's a true leader of this team, and steps up in big moments, and we're certainly going to need it this weekend.
Jim, what are some of the biggest tools for a team to prepare for a tempo offense, a defense to prepare for that?
Number one, you have to have, a system of play calling that's fast. And then just like playing an option team, you do everything you can to simulate it in practice, even though you're never going to quite reach it. But you try to be creative with ways that guys have to get lined up fast or turn their back to the offense, so they have to at least jump out for a second and figure things out. So there's some creativity involved. A lot of it is mindset too. Like they need to understand that the tempo is going to be faster than we can even show them. So it's a lot like when you're practicing tackling without actually tackling. A lot of it has to occur in your mind and the way you think about your approach to the game.
Coach, when they are doing tempo and you see them sub one time, did you got a call or something or somebody telling you that? Because that allows you, if they sub, you can sub. So you can kind of, slow it down a little bit with that. Do you have somebody that's kind of on that all the time if they're taking guys on and off the field?
Yeah, it's a part of the game, particularly the college game. If they do sub, we have to have methods to slow it down. So there's a procedure to that.
When it comes to the way your linebackers have played, and you talked about Cody Simon, but throw Sonny Styles in there, has this been kind of through the course of the whole season, every situation that they've encountered is something that is a learning ability piece for them?
Yeah, particularly Sonny, because he was a safety first. So I sometimes feel like everything Sonny's doing is new, but, we've reached the point now where you see him reacting and adjusting on his own, within the flow of a game. So, I think he had a lot of learning opportunities early in the year, but, he's ready to go now.
When Tennessee goes through some of the goal line package, they bring in, heavy. They bring in number 51, play a little fullback or, in that backfield. When they do that, does that require you to get an extra defensive lineman or two onto the field to counter those type of players, body types that are on the field at that time?
Absolutely. More D linemen and more linebackers, bigger guys to be able to attack that formation.
Arvell.
Yeah. He'll be in there.
Yeah.
Arvell can pull his trigger.
We asked Coach Day about the play that Jack Sawyer made on the interception he had in the last football game. I'll ask you, does that just kind of speak to the instincts of a young man that's been around a lot of football?
Yeah, Jack is instincts, athletic ability, tireless worker, into the game, all those things. That play there was an amazing play. I mean, I think more than people know, it was a great play. We cut a guy loose, and I blame myself for that. And Jack filled in the blanks in an amazing way.
That's what great players do.
Yeah. Well, Coach, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. All the best come Saturday night.
Thanks, guys.
All right, and that is Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles. Join us Saturday as the Buckeyes host Tennessee. We'll be on the air from Ohio Stadium beginning at 6:30 p.m. The Ryan Day Show, presented by Roosters, has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, and by Credit Union of Ohio. For Skip Mossick, Colin Behringer, and for Jim Lachey and Coach Day, as well as Coach Knowles, this is Paul Keels. Thanks for listening. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Tis the season to raise a little Cane with Raising Cane's. Spread joy with craveable chicken finger meals and treat everyone on your nice list to a Cane's gift card or plush puppy, which benefits local pet organizations. Happy holidays from Raising Cane's. One love.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Treat your family to savory Meyer ham and make any meal a holiday feast. Now through December 24th, a delicious Meyer spiral sliced half ham is just 79 cents per pound with M-Perks. Limit 1, no clipping necessary. Discount automatically applied when your M-Perks ID is entered at checkout. Get a 12-pack of King's Hawaiian rolls for just $3.99. Meyer brand canned vegetables are 39 cents each, and 16-ounce Meyer butter quarters are only $2.99. Incredible taste and low prices make the holidays a good deal better. Exclusions apply. Go to the Meyer app for details.
Bo Bishop here. High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Broadcast